What's up, everyone? I want to welcome you to the second episode of Inside Weddings. My name is Adam, the owner of FM Entertainment, your host as usual, and with me today is the amazing Beth Waterman. She is a fantastic photographer, and if you haven't had a chance to check out some of her work, please do so. We are coming to you right inside her brand new, was at one point pseudo-portable studio. How long did it take you to put the studio together?
About 9 days total.
Yeah?
9 days.
Yeah, and it's got power, it doesn't have a bathroom because it's a little small for that, but the house is just right over there, so we're good. It's kind of like one of those, it's the opposite of one of those outhouses you have to go outside for, and you go inside for the outhouse there, so to speak. So we're here to talk to you a little bit about, as far as the tips and tricks. For those of you who don't know, the show is about tips and tricks that brides and grooms can use, that means you can use to kind of help set yourself up for success on the wedding day, or even before the wedding day in this case. So what I'm going to do is we're going to talk to Beth a little bit about some of the things that bride and grooms need to know about how the photography business works when it applies to weddings. So, Beth, what would you say would be like the first thing that you would say that brides and grooms should know right off the bat about photography?
I would say the biggest and most important thing that you guys need to really do is paying attention to the style of the photographer that you're really looking at. Really do take some time, do the homework, look at the different styles of photography that are out there, because you've got types from, kind of dark and moody, which is very in style right now, to extremely light and airy, to where everything is so blown out you've almost got no colors, but it is a style. And then you've got people who kind of fit in the middle like I do, which is kind of clean and airy. So really kind of knowing what style of photography they have, coloration wise, is important, as well as what style they shoot in. So, do they really like to set you up into a pose every single time, or do they really like to get that good documentary style, candid kind of style? Or are they a good, nice mix in between? So I think those things are really important.
Absolutely. Like I said, being able to fit the vibe of what you're looking for your wedding, and this goes for any of your wedding vendors, the vibe of what you're looking for that particular vendor is going to be absolutely essential to making sure that not only are you getting the outcome that you want, but also that you're working well with the vendor. If you have a different style in mind than what the vendor typically does, then you're going to clash idealistically for your poses, things like that. If you like that candid sort of off-the-cuff kind of styled shooting, then more power to you. You see a lot of black and whites with those kinds of shots. So if you like the black and white aspect, then that's cool. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that just because your photographer specializes in one particular style, that they aren't great at another style as well. So make sure that you ask your photographer about the styles that they're most comfortable with and the styles that they can work with, with proficiency. If they're not proficient with it and they're not, I would say, maybe an expert at that particular style, maybe look around and see if there's a photographer who fits a little bit better for you. What else would you like the brides and grooms to know?
I think the most important second thing that a lot of people are kind of wishy-washy on whether or not they want is a second photographer. A second photographer can make a huge impact on how many images you actually get in the long run. I can tell you that when I shoot solo for a 6-hour wedding, I may deliver 500-600 pictures, but when my husband is there and second shooting for me, that number can double easily. So,
and of course, more pictures that you have means the more opportunity that you have better, more awesome pictures that come out. Yeah.
And the other nice thing is, when you're looking at wedding photographers, ask them if their second shooter is similar in style to them or if they're completely different. For instance, with my husband and I shoot kind of a mix of formal combined with that kind of lifestyle candid poses. My husband is very purely documentary. He loves documentary style.
He likes getting those secret pictures.
Yes. Yeah. We call him the creepy stalker guy because you never know he's there until you come back and look at the picture.
Next thing you know, like he's peeking around the corner, snap. He's basically the equivalent of like the paparazzi.
Exactly. He's very paparazzi style. That's his calling in life. But I think that's a good thing to know on your second shooters.
Absolutely. And another point to think about as well is the fact that, and this is my personal opinion, and by the way, there are not every photographer shares this particular opinion. So once again, this goes back to making sure that your photographer shares the same ideals as you do, but the second shooter can get angles and different angles that the primary shooter may not get. So that's why if you see during a wedding ceremony, for instance, that the second shooter may be off to the side at an angle. The primary shooter may be, face like direct on down the aisle, getting those straight on shots. And the different angles can make a big difference, especially if you're capturing a first dance or you're capturing a first look. I mean, any of those can come into play.
Well, you remember the doves that we actually worked together last year.
Ashley Dove, shout out to you.
Yes, that photo that has gotten so much attention, actually it ranked in the top 200 in the shoot and share contest, which is millions upon millions.
By the way, we'll make sure that we provide links to the portfolio so you can see that.
Because that picture is amazing.
It is an amazing picture.
And I had that set up at a certain angle, and I captured the image a certain way, but my husband was lower down and at a certain angle, and because of the angle he was at, he was able to catch the rainbow that was in the background, whereas I wasn't able to get that with my lens face the way it was. So, here we had one picture set up, or I should say, one pose set up with two different viewpoints, and wound up getting an amazing one.
Completely different outcome
awesome
from one.
Right.
Absolutely. No, that's a great thing. And then, like I said, not everybody thinks that the second shooter is necessary. I personally believe that it is vitally important to the success of the pictures that come out.
I agree.
Let's talk about maybe one more point that you think that maybe couples should know about their photographers and things like that.
So I would say
Putting her on the spot at this point.
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, I could rant and rave about the hundreds of things that I think are most important about photography, period. But I try to be very,
Well, let me ask you. Let me try a different way. What are some of the things that maybe you see people focus on that are not important?
So this is a sensitive subject for a lot of people.
Uh-oh.
Trigger warning, guys. But I would say price. When it comes to photography, in my opinion, throw your budget out the window. And the reason why I say that, and I'm not necessarily saying that you should go out and spend $4,000 on a photographer, because the $4,000 photographer may not be giving you what you want, whereas a $1,000 photographer might. So in my opinion, do not look at pricing. Cut that out. Find the photographer that you connect with. Find the photographer that has that same idea for your wedding that you do, has that same style, has that same flow, and then kind of book from there. Because once you having a connection with your wedding photographer, I think is almost critical.
Yep.
Just like with the DJ, or especially with the DJ, because if you don't keep the party going, then it just stops.
It is a very tenuous sort of subject, because there are lots of ideas behind this concept, but it goes in life as the way it does in the wedding industry. 99% of the time, you will get what you pay for.
Yes.
And don't get me wrong, there are vendors out there, they're hard to find, but there are vendors out there that are doing an amazing quality job, but selling their packages at a lower price. So maybe could you talk about how to compare packages a little bit?
I would say, so you've got many different, start from the hours. There's a lot of different photographers that base their package on hours, which mine is like that also. You've got your 10 hours, your 8 hours, your 6 hours, your 4 hours are typically your standard hourly package rates. Unless, people like me, I've cut down, I've only got a 10 hour and 8 hour, and I think my 6 hours are even going away. So, hours is one big thing. Does the package include an engagement session? Does it not include an engagement session? You may not think that you need an engagement session, but I can tell you from a photographer's standpoint, that is a great warm-up opportunity for us.
It's like a teaser for the wedding anyway.
Yeah, we get to figure out how we work well together, so that when we step into the wedding, I know automatically, okay, said bride, she's got confidence issues, she doesn't like how her chin looks in pictures. I already know all of this because we worked in that engagement session together. So definitely consider an engagement session. Is it just thrown into the package? I include engagement sessions in my packages now because I just want to work with you. So that's kind of my goal on engagement.
And there are some couples who will use the engagement package, much like they'll use the trial for a makeup artist to kind of see if there is a synergy. So as brides and grooms, I encourage you to do that test run with your photographer, because like I said, not only is it vitally important that the photographer is that you're a good fit with the photographer, but it's vitally important that the photographer is a good fit with you. And there's no harm, no foul if you go to an engagement session and then you come out and you say, you know what, the pictures are great, but I'm just not feeling it, because at least now at that point, you save yourself all the trouble of going through the wedding day just to have some kind of regret.
Right.
So be aware of that. And like I said, there's one other tip that I did remember just now, and that is when you're looking at the pictures that a photographer has, look at the entire portfolio for that day. Look at all the pictures that were taken for that day, because some photographers may get lucky and take a couple of great pictures and sell you just on those 2 pictures, but the rest of the pictures may not look so great.
And also, in addition to that, I'm glad you bring that up.
Yeah.
Ask the photographer if that's a real couple or if that's a styled shoot. A lot of people don't know that we as photographers can pay. Actually, I have 2 or 3 of them coming up that I've paid to buy tickets for to go in and shoot. I use styled shoots personally for advertising material. Really, that's all I use it for. They might be in my portfolio, but it's going to be identified that this is a styled shoot.
Yeah.
Because people don't realize in a styled shoot everything's perfect. You've got all the time in the world. Nobody's rushing to get back to their guests. Everything's perfect. So, of course, anybody can take a fabulous picture in a styled shoot.
Yeah.
So I think that's one thing.
Absolutely.
You know, real couple, not real couple, and ask to see a whole wedding. Yes, absolutely.
And as always, just across the board, look at the reviews. You can tell a lot about the quality of what the photographer brings to the big day based upon the kind of review you see. Typically speaking, you'll still see good reviews for all of them, but it's how much the bride feels compelled to share as a good review afterwards that can help separate maybe some of the more average from maybe the above average photographers you'll see. Brides that are so overwhelmingly happy with their service, regardless of what vendor it is, will typically leave longer and more in-depth reviews.
Yep.
Brides that are okay with everything and they're just happy can leave shorter reviews, and that may typically signify a more average photographer. And when it comes to your wedding, nothing should be average. Plain and simple. You should never, ever settle for an average outcome or an average wedding. So I think that's going to probably do it for our second episode of Inside Weddings. Thank you guys so much for watching. Beth, how can they get a hold of you if they need to contact you?
I am available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
She does not actually sleep.
I really don't. I pride myself in really taking care of my people, so I make sure I'm available at all times. So you can contact me on Facebook. It's Beth Waterman Photography. You can contact me through my website, which is bethwatermanphotography.com. You can get me on Instagram, which is Beth Waterman.
So basically, if you search anything with Beth Waterman, you'll get a hold of her.
Yeah, you'll find me. You'll find me. That's just what I do. But yeah, no, definitely. And I'm glad you decided to do this and are giving us all an opportunity to kind of talk about our side of things. So.
Absolutely. Like I said, it's all about a culture of collaboration. If we can all come together and help each other, then the quality of everyone's weddings will go up.
Yep.
And that's the exciting thing. So thank you guys so much for watching. Comment down below, like, share. Please share. For the love of God, please share. It's the second episode, so nobody knows who we are yet. Thank you guys so much.
Sharing.
That's right. Just sharing is caring, folks. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time on Inside Weddings. See ya.
Bye.